so we did a little bit of collection work here on our pages, but we need to really do a whole lot of work for our blog because we don't have anything done for it yet. So if I were to go to blog, we should get hello, but that's it. And so I've got some folders here from an older project where we do have the slug. We have a feed, which we'll need to adjust for an RSS feed, and then page for pagination, makes sense. All right, so we come down over here to our blog collection. Oh, I have it as posts. So we'll use posts, and then we'll take a look at what we have here. So first things first, let's take a look at it. So we go over here, we can go to our posts. If I create a new post, we have our title, which is what we want to see. Then we have an SEO. Let's make sure that this is the actual tab we want. Yep, and then this slug published, all of that is going to be in the sidebar. So we obviously need a title. We have the slug down at the bottom. We have an author and category relationship field. We've got content, which I want to add here to our content. We have our rich text content. No, all of this is in the sidebar. Okay. That was confusing to me. All right. So I have this custom content here, the content description, so that I can set a character counter to make it easier for how long I want the description to be. Which reminds me, so description should really actually be a summary field, but maybe I'll do a separate summary field because this is going to be used for any time it's featured or if it's in search, which might be different than what I want to put on the actual blog for a summary. So what we'll do is we'll come under description, and then we're going to add a summary field. So I can come here, do name, summary, and then with our block, we don't actually want rich text with this field, so we'll do just type, and we'll do text. It's not going to be required. We'll say max length of maybe, 280 characters. Should be plenty. I think that's enough there. And so I could actually even do the same component here, because I made it so that it is extensible, I think. So if I do admin components description, we can do a character length of 280, and then use this to add a summary of the post used on the post page. And then if I hit save and then refresh, I didn't actually need to refresh, but there it is there, for some reason sticking with the 300 character count when it first loads up. So let's take a look at this real quick. We have our content description. See, I thought length was what set that there. So let's go to content description. We have our length. So how do we want to handle this? Because what this is saying is that we have our variables, length and custom message. And then it's checking if the data value is a string. If it is, find the length of that string and subtract it from, or subtract the total length that we want by the total length that is available. If there's no value there, then return 300. So what is the message? 300 characters left. We could just say type to see how many. Yeah, so now it says type to see how many characters left. And then I type, and it tells me. That's perfect. And then when it comes back in, I can see how many characters are left. So that's great. All right, so let's go back to our posts. We have our content, we have our rich text. And so here I have an HTML converter feature. So this is going to enable me to use HTML instead of just the JSX converter, which is handy for really any time that you need to use HTML instead of JSX. So that's neither here nor there. All the default features are fine for this rich text, but I do want to add one other thing, because I like the fixed toolbar feature. So I'm going to include that, which is just going to add a toolbar here at the top of content. Just got to let it refresh, which I guess I have to refresh it. Oh, because it's on the client. So here I can see all of the different components that I could use. And so some of these I won't even use. So I'm going to filter some of them out by doing a filter here with a feature. And then I could do, we don't want superscript. We don't want subscript. We don't want indent. We don't want align. I think that's it. Oh no, we don't need inline code here either. So what this is doing is we're saying anything that is a feature.key that includes any of these, just exclude them from the list. So when I hit refresh, or I save there, hit refresh here, I see all of those features are gone now. Perfect. So we have access to be able to read these, create these, and update these, but not everybody can delete them. This is actually, I don't think, anything that we need. So if I delete this, it shouldn't change anything because I have got my access set up here, which is better anyway. Okay, so now we've got this row, which doesn't need a name, so I can just delete that. And what this is doing is we're going to actually use this as a row real quick. So to enable row, yes, you need the type, but you also need to set a width. And so we're going to set width at 50% for both author and category. So when I do that, that'll update here in a second. So this is a blog author, so I don't want this to be based on the users because I may have admin users for this that are not blog authors. So specific authors there, and then we're able to also have categories, which we've not added any yet. So I come over here, if I refresh, there we go. Turns into width of 50 there. So I did just have another idea. Instead of having a separate author field, we could use users. And we can use users by adding a new checkbox. So we've got a role for select. We could do a checkbox here. Where does this end? Okay, perfect. We'll just put it here. We'll say, dang it, name, author, type, checkbox, and then here we're going to say label. Is this person a blog author? And then we'll use a boolean because since it is a checkbox, we'll set the default value to true. So we get that immediately. And then we're going to come over here to posts. And instead of authors, we're going to use name. Well, so the name will still be author, but instead relation to will be users. And then here we can do filter options. And if we do filter options, we can do, I believe, data, and then do a function. I may have to look at the documentation to do this right. I think it's this number. Yes, I need to stop saying this number. So filter options, and then we're going to return data author, I think is right. So now if I refresh, nothing should happen unless that field got assigned properly to the one user that's in here, which it did. So if I go, though, to create a new user, and I do an email, we'll just do this, still do a password, we'll set my name. This person is a blog author, we'll say that we're an admin, get rid of that, and I can hit save. So that created a user. Now if I come back here, I'm not going to save that. I can see the author here, but I also see it in the dropdown. But say I just want to create an admin user. I don't know why I would do it from here, but I could just do this, set a password, I don't need to know this. And then I can just do not a blog author, and just to show, I'll keep this here as is this person a blog author. I set it as a viewer and hit save. Passwords don't match. So now we have not a blog author, but if I edit them, check them off, remove them, so they should not be showing up now. So I need to look at the documentation real quick. So that's what the documentation is there for. So if I do relationship field, and then we find our filter options down here, we can find, so I need relation to and data. So I could do relation to data, and I can just do this. Relation to is users, and then I can return data author. Doesn't have to work the first time, it just has to work eventually, right? All right. So if relation to users, return, so definitely need this here. All right, set all of that. Okay, so I know that that's broken, but I have done this before. So I'm going to look at an old project. Okay, so I need to do this. Users.author equals true should be fine. So I don't actually need data. So now why is this broken? So if relation to equals users, return. I know I don't need to actually put this, but maybe I do. That would be wild if this just works. Yeah, so now it's gonna say an error occurred, but it always says that because something is broken. Oh, this is always a little frustrating, isn't it? So this may not actually work like I want it to, but it should. The problem though is that this is essentially checking against itself. So relation to users, and that's what it's filtering against. So just to see, I didn't think so. Property author does not exist on type users, but it does though. How did I do this before? So here, like I have a project that I did where I'm just filtering out all the songs based on one album. So if I have my relation to songs, and then the album, so it's filtering based on the slug of the song though. Maybe I shouldn't use the same name, so I should do is author. We can do author users is author. Probably still nothing, yeah. Did not think so. I really don't know what's going on here. So this over here, this article is saying that when you select the article type, you'll then have the filter option on the article's relationship to filter by the category of all of those articles in this relationship. So that means that I need to set something else. So if we could do this with a hidden field though. So we could do, so fields, we'll just do, so name, we'll do author, filter. And so we're actually gonna set this type as a checkbox, default value to true so we don't have to check it, and then it's gonna be hidden. It's also gonna be virtual. So the virtual field is gonna make sure that it doesn't save any data to the database. I just want this checkbox here so we have something to check against. So when I do the return is, so we could do is author equals data dot author filter. So again, have no idea if this is going to work. Go to posts, create new post. We have all of our authors still. We can save that. So no. So I don't think this is actually going to work like I want it to, because I've just tried just about everything here. So I should then, like, if I did role equals viewer, there's no option. But if I go to, if I create, go to users, leave anyway, We have a role of viewer here, API role viewer, so it needs to be lowercase. Go back to not authors. If I go to posts, create new post, go to author. See, this is weird to me. So let's try this again. Is author equals true. Refresh. There's nothing there. Even though if I go back to users and go to test, is the problem then? So is author is true here. Is author is false. And it's a Boolean, so this should be working. I have an idea. Let's restart the server. When in doubt, turn it off and back on again. But if this doesn't work, I can just add a new role as author, which has essentially no rights to anything. But yes, so let's go here. First things first. Hit that then PM dev again. That refresh. Author, no options. All right, so do not know why this is happening, but if I go here, delete all that I've just done here, and do set a new user selection here of author, which is going to have no rights, so I'm not even going to add them. I can then get rid of this, save all that. Here, I don't even need data, I just need the filter options because I'm only looking for authors. Refresh. There should be nobody there, but if I don't want to add another person. If I go to users, go to test. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Let's go to our viewer role and then change this to author. Save. Go to posts, create new post, author. There it is. Why wasn't it working on a different field? But anyway, that means I don't need the author collection anymore, which is great. So I don't think I added anything here, so I'm just going to delete it. And so you can delete a collection by first going to your payload config, finding it there. So I have this authors here, get rid of that. And then there's an import somewhere up here, get rid of that. And then I can go up to my collections, get rid of that, hit OK. I want to view usage because I don't know where else this is. Oh, there's a piece of code that I want to save first. So I'm going to take this hook because I would like to be able to include post counts. And so I might even want to do like user pages as well, but we'll build that out later. I'm not too worried about it now. Hooks for, should be here. Where did hooks go? Oh, under fields. There we go. And so this will go through and do a get payload. Don't need that. It'll count all of the posts that this this author has done. But since I don't need meta anymore, it should just be users. So this is the doc name. So this is going to be checking the posts where author's name, I guess, contains doc name. So we'll test that here in a minute too. So if I go to create, not a new author, let's go to post. Oh, it just logged me out. That's fair. It's weird. Why doesn't it let me log in now? Let's get rid of that file completely now. Delete anyway. That, restart the server, because it seems to have freaked stuff out. Okay, so I still see other uses, so go to authors. Oh, I gotta generate types again, okay. Collections index, get rid of view. Layout, okay, so that must be in the payload layout. No, okay, so that's taking a minute. So let's just restart. Don't know why that got hung up. Refresh, this should be a lot faster. Okay, let's see if curating this hook. So I'm not supposed to be editing these fields, but it seems to be getting in the way. Okay, so that's working, that's fine. But what happened back here? Very weird, but we made it. We're here now. And we have it with even the hook in here, right? No, I don't. Okay, so let's add the hook back. Okay, so it's not where the hook belongs, apparently. Oh, I think I need to do something different here. So I need to add a new field. I can add it at the end here. Do postCount. Oh, name. postCount, which is going to be a type of number, and that'll be admin. Should be able to do read only. True. Dev. Test. Okay, still nothing. Posts is right. Where author name. So if this doesn't work, I'll just first let's refresh, and then, okay, let's just put this aside for now. Or does this hook need to go onto this? No, because apparently before read does not go there. So we'll do that. Set it as a comment just so I can get back in here and create a post. So we made it. We're getting really far in this. Yeah, it sounds great. All right, so then we have the ability to include a hosted video. We also have audio, but we could, instead of having that show up all the time, we have our group of media. We don't necessarily always have audio or video. So what we're gonna do is have a checkbox up here. And we're gonna do this in a row. So we'll have type row, and we're gonna do two checkboxes. First one will be this. First I need to put fields. This one here. And then we'll do another one. We'll actually do this one first. Include audio. Audio link. Then we can just do the same conditional here. So we need to add this also to our text, which I don't need this admin. I've already got that there. I can do this. So then we can just do an admin, do width. We'll just do 50% there. So now, would you like to include an audio link? Sure. Nothing happens. Would you like to include video? That happens. So that's right. I need to set this to be include audio, which is already set there. Okay. Oops. And I hit that. There's the audio. There's the video. Perfect. So then we've got our image and our position. So all that's the same. And then we've got our SEO stuff here. So let's do our test. Test blog. Do a description. This is a featured description. It is optional and can be longer than the summary. This article is about birds. A lot of text about birds. Yay. And then we'll set our author to be not a blog author, which let's actually change that name to Nick Blog. Then we've got a post count thing there. I can hit save, and we'll see if adding one post will fix that field. And then we can just choose from an existing. We'll use the same that we've been using this whole time. Image position's fine. Can hit SEO, auto generate. Yep. Test blog. Choose from existing. There. So this could be taken from the summary or the description. I'm going to take the summary, and then that's fine there. And then we'll set the date for today. Don't need to do anything with the link. So if I hit save, I'm probably going to get some errors. I didn't. Perfect. Great. So the slug auto-populated. The link did not, which is not the end of the world, because I don't actually need it, but I'm still going to use it. And so what I'm going to do with this, I did this again in another project where if we do link, was it message link maybe? Well, I know it's in a hook, so we'll find it in a hook. Not in the events. Oh yes, here it is. It is this hook. All right, so we're going to steal this hook. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a link for me to be able to copy and paste just for easier sharing. So I'm just going to do, I should be able to do, so it needs to be /blog for sure. But I can then do process dot, I need that first. I can do process dot in dot. I'm going to hide this real quick because I don't remember what my environment variable is for my domain. Here it is. Of course, it is just what I think it is. So let's go back. There it is. There, and then it's going to be a blog with data slug. So I don't even need the request because I'm not getting anything from any other collections, but I pick that. Then if I make an edit, there we go. So that means I don't need this. There. But I do need it to be HTTPS. Well, it'll update with my environment variable. But yeah, so now I could just copy and paste this. It's not going to do anything, but in fact, it's probably going to break since I don't have the blogs set up yet. Exactly. All right, so we got a post. We can go to our users. We can go to this one and try to see if we can figure out this post count. So what I'm trying to do is just set up a way for me to see how many posts that this author has written. So if I go back over to users and let's see if we can figure this hook out. So we're taking from this document, we've got our config promise, yes. Our result is waiting for a payload count of posts where the author name contains the doc name. All right, so let's actually, before that throws an error, go back over to our posts and look at our API. Because what we're actually getting is not under meta. We have our, so author didn't get saved. Oh, it's under content. It's because it's a tab. There we go. So content, author, name. So that is how that exists. Oh, it should be content author name. So if we do contains doc dot content dot author dot name, I hit save. I go to users. Hopefully it doesn't log me out. I can do columns post count. There we go. Why did 2 come up though? But we have Nick blog. Okay. And this one, post count. Interesting. But what if I do, instead of contains, shouldn't equal.